Happy MLK Day. How are we doing out there? I don't know about you guys, but it's been busy all day long. It's been nonstop. It's been a good thing. Mary, good to see you. Victor, hope you're having a good day.
Hey guys.
Hi. Good to see everybody. Just getting everybody logged in here. Okay. We're going to turn it over real quick to Deanne Yellum for our quick mortgage minute. Are you able to talk, Deanne?
I am. Can you hear me?
Sure.
Happy Monday. Happy Martin Luther King's Day. Interest rates on Friday, the market's closed today, but on interest rates on Friday were really good. Conventional rates just around 6%. FHA 5.75. Interest rates got better. People are getting excited. So, way to go, 2023. And then today, I just wanted to say two quick things on the lending front. I've noticed with many teams within Movement that the conventional underwriting automated approvals are getting a little tighter. So I think this quarter into the first half of the year, you're going to probably be seeing more first-time home buyers going into the FHA market. So if you need to know anything about FHA standards, please reach out to me. I could send you a list of what might be a little bit different on FHA, but FHA loans are great loans. They add a lot of flexibility, so please don't just shut them down. Just pump those buyers up because they may need to go that route. So that's it for today. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Deanne, for your input. Appreciate it. Your help on some of these too. Deanne is even the websites. It's funny. We were talking about Real Geeks and Chime and some lead opportunities, what's working, what's not. That's what we're going to cover today. And I know Deanne, I sent her over just one that came from a Chime. So that's kind of cool that we had one that could go right to her in that fashion. So thank you for taking that on, even on a holiday. That's what's nice to have good lender partners. Is even though it's a holiday, it's like we're all working and we're all trying to get this business up and running for this year. And so you do want to have a lender that you partner with that can take those opportunities and run with them. So really appreciate you stepping in, Deanna, today on a holiday.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go ahead tonight and cover just what we have available. I don't think I've done a good job. I know some of you have come to Best Choice Realty and known about the two packages, but I think as a start of the year, I'm getting some of even our top producers that are asking, what's the difference? What's working? What's not? And why did we choose Chime? Some people don't even know what I'm talking about when I talk about Chime. So I'm actually very happy about these two products right now after viewing last year many products and trying to find a product that would work well for all of you. So I don't want you guys going to Real Geeks directly or Chime directly, because we actually negotiate what we call a group rate with both of these companies. They are our web or our technology arm that powers a lot of the ideas that you and I have come up with. So tonight I'm going to go over just I have Shannon put up the screen. This is when a new agent joins Best Choice Realty, they have a choice. They're not forced to use a technology system. If you want to use your phone, if you want to use your Rolodex from 1992, you can be my guest. You can do that here at our company. I don't believe in locking people into technology. I certainly don't like programs where you have to pay for a certain period of time, where you're locked in for a year or 2 years or 4 years. We want to use technology that works. And so that's the reason I've selected these two companies to work with. So Real Geeks I've had since the inception of Best Choice Realty. The reason I chose Real Geeks was because it was not a company that was or was going to be purchased by Zillow. That was one of the main reasons I chose Real Geeks back in 2012. I used Real Geeks as my own CRM, and I was coming off a very, very robust CRM system that a company provided me. As many of you know, I work for Zip Realty, and so that company provided me with technology, but I had to pay a lot for that piece of technology. So I understood the fundamentals, what was important about a CRM, and I utilized Real Geeks from the inception of Best Choice Realty. I was able to negotiate a very good deal so that you guys don't have to pay if you want their basic website and the workflows and a CRM that functions just like it did when I started Best Choice Realty. Real Geeks, it doesn't get better than free, you guys. And some of you aren't utilizing your free option as much as you should. So I'm going to go over that briefly tonight. But as you see from the screen, Real Geeks pretty much will do the website. So we would build, you own your own domain name, so I'm not taking your leads. You would own, say, CherylMcLaren.com. And so that would be something like that website. She would own the domain name, and then we would basically build the house around that domain name. And then Cheryl would get credit for all of those leads that come to her site directly. So it's a basic CRM. It does do workflows now. When I started, it did not have workflows. In fact, I had to hand do every email that went out. I could template some of the emails, but now Real Geeks allows you to set a workflow, set like a system. Like, I want to send this email on day 1. I want to send this email on day 7, and I want to send this email on day 20, or when the lead closes, and I go in and notate that on my CRM. It will do those automated workflows for you, and it did not do it before. It is a very simple system. It does not have AI. It does do mass emails, which before it did not. So they have updated their Real Geek system since I joined back in 2012. And you guys have access to that for free if you choose to use it. There is an MLS integration, so it does talk well with whatever MLS that you are using. Now that we've expanded into Spokane, into Yakima, and to the other various areas, it does push those listings out and allows you to create searches in those particular areas. So it does all of the integration. There is a mobile application that also comes with the product. And there is a text integration, which allows you to text from your CRM. So from a basic standpoint, Real Geeks does a fantastic job of getting our brokers to use a piece of technology to manage their pipeline, or manage their database, or manage their client or their Rolodex, or to take the information from their phone and put it into a much better system to manage those particular opportunities. And what it does not do, the system that that is free, it does not do the social media integration. It does not do CMA integration, although I use Cloud CMA, and I pay the company, or we have a deal with that kind of a group rate for Cloud CMA. It does not integrate, but I use CMA when Cloud CMA syndicates or pushes information between Cloud CMA and the Northwest MLS. So that's how I solve for that problem. Most of you, it looks like you on the call tonight, are Northwest MLS. So that would work well if you wanted to talk offline about a CMA product that it works well. You certainly can get on our group rate for that if you use a CMA tool regularly. Otherwise, you can use a CMA. I would give you access to my Cloud CMA account, and you can utilize a CMA feature through that account. It does not do AI. It doesn't score your leads, and it definitely does not have the ability for you to create like an ad where you control the landing page, the website for PPC or circle prospecting. It does not do that. So some of you are like, okay, free is pretty good, and let me just get started with something this year. I'll show you the difference from the mechanics. I have a slide. Before we do that, though, before we get off the slide, Shannon, if we could just go ahead and keep it on the screen for just another minute. Chime it's 100% customizable. It is 100% customizable for the workflows as well. And it's got some workflows that I've taken from Real Geeks and put into Chime. And you can customize your own. It does have a very, very robust dashboard, probably a bit more on the business planning element, and allowing you to have a bit more flashy of an interface. I still like the Real Geeks because I'm used to it. I know how to use it well, but Chime actually has a flashier dashboard. It does allow for mass emails. It does have a mobile application. It does text integrate very well. You can do a lot more if you have a big, huge database. Some of our brokers, in fact, one of them that comes to mind, she has a huge, over 15,000 people in her database, and was not able to do the kind of volume base that she was looking to do with Real Geeks. And so Chime was able to, she was able to integrate her database into Chime, and they were able to do what she needed it to do. So it's got a bit more, if your database has grown quite large, it might be time to migrate your stuff over to Chime as well. It does social media integration. It does a CMA integration. It allows for AI and lead scoring. And it definitely has an ad and design center where you can build flyers, you can build ads, you can build PPC. It does circle prospecting. It does all of that, but there is a group rate that we negotiated, and it's $105 per month. It is not required for any of our agents to be a part of Chime. It is an opt-in, opt-out kind of program, so we like that. Currently, we have, I believe, about 30 users on Chime right now, 30 Best Choice Realty agents after launching this in the spring of last year. So it is taking off. I have been testing out different components of Chime, and I'm very impressed with the AI technology and the scoring and how you can build your own ads and just kind of, for the interest of time, I obviously, as many of you know, I don't have the time to do the type of placement of advertising and things like that. And so this allows you to do that. So let me show you first. Let me show you get to the screen where I could share. Hang on one second, Shannon. Share my screen. So if I was to go to Google, which we did talk about Google last week, if I was to search Cheryl McLaren, the reason I like Real Geeks still is because their SEO is very, very good. I could put up, say, Yina wanted to build her own website, and she's like, I just need the basics though, Rochelle. I don't want to spend a ton of money. I want to direct my leads or my opportunities to my own page. We can help you with that, and it wouldn't cost you very much to get that set up. So we just CherylMcLaren.com. Ongoing, look at how Cheryl McLaren comes up on like the first, that's the first page. This is her own domain name. Comes up right away. This is what it looks like. The reason she has chosen to go this way, because she doesn't need to place ads. She just needs a place where clients can get to know her, and she already has a well-known name and a well-known brand. And she's been with Best Choice Realty. Can't remember, but she came in very, very early on. So she was an early adopter into Real Geeks. So she has you can see the header picture. If we wanted to refresh and give her a new Tacoma, maybe she wants the Narrows. We could certainly do that for Cheryl. There's certain things that she's not able to control. This right here, she cannot control. Basically this top header, she cannot control. But it doesn't get better than free. She paid to set up, and then she just has this ongoing, and she renews her domain name I think it's every 2 years is when Cheryl updates her domain name. And that doesn't cost her very much, but $20 every couple years is really what she's having to pay for. And then she works with our marketing and design team if she wants something updated. So she did make top producer. So she worked with Lori to update her badge to 2022. So we updated that for her, and she did have a few changes we made to her bio. So we can certainly update this at any point in time. And again, there's no cost to do some of those updates. So as far as this goes, she can showcase different properties from the MLS. She's currently on NWMLS, so she wants to showcase places in Tacoma. That's where she lives and works. If she's changed her mind, she says, I now want to go to Thurston County, or I want to show only foreclosures, or I want to show on my website something different. Maybe I only want my listings to show up here rather than everybody's listings in Tacoma. We can do that for her, and it does not cost her anything to do that, kind of because it's pulling data from the Internet Data Exchange from the MLS that she belongs to. She just chose to put reviews here. So basically she's got a nice page that is very responsive to her needs, where she could click on this. Anytime she clicks on this, or a client would click on this and they go to CherylMcLaren.com, or they do a search like that, they request information, you would see something like this that pops up, and then that lead would go into Cheryl's website. That's how Real Geeks works. Very simple, very easy to use. Their interface looks something like this. So you have leads, you can set up follow-ups. And here's where I need your help. If you guys are interested in working Real Geeks and actually helping in the pond, I'm going to start putting a lot of leads from various areas, all of the areas we service in Washington. I'm going to start putting them into a pond where if you want to start using your Real Geek system a little bit more this year, maybe you have your own page and we just haven't spent some time in refreshing it. What I'd like you to do after tomorrow, I'm going to put a bunch in the pond. And if you want to go in there, if you're on, you're like, gosh, I just need to maybe give Real Geeks a second go, maybe try it again. Now that I know that Rochelle says there's a lot to it, maybe I have not given it another go. Go ahead and give it another go, and I'll throw some leads into the pond, and then you can work those. Those are leads that I generated from ads that we placed for the last year, and I do need to have contact made with those leads. So they would be probably leads like this that come into the system, and they would show up in the pool. But like Doug Hall, for example, he came in 23 hours ago. It's the holiday, and it's been a very busy day. We placed, as a company, we placed some ads on Real Geeks. We know that because it comes in from the source code. And so you guys are not able to do the Facebook marketing. A company can, which is, I know this is our lead because it came in through marketing that we placed, but we could send this lead into the pond. So I just could send it right to the pond, and then you guys can go at it. And if you look in the pond, it would at least give you information about where this client was looking. This client is looking, it looks like, in the Spokane area because of an ad we placed in Real Geeks for the Spokane area. So this lead will be going into the pool, but this is an example of what a lead would look like when we place advertising for Real Geeks. And that's what we do on a company level. So we are currently spending money in various cities, various areas of the Puget Sound region, and also in areas where we've opened in Yakima and in Spokane. And those of you who are on those calls, you'll know that just like any internet lead, it takes follow-up and it takes constant contact in order for that lead to respond and actually transact. So it's not a one-hit wonder. It's not like a lead that comes in from another company, you know, the companies I'm talking about, where they have a call center and they vet them and they go through that process, but it doesn't get better than free. So if you can work these leads, that would be amazing. We could use all of the sales we can get to start the year off. I'll go ahead and put those into the pond. And if you want to go in and check out your pond tomorrow and go into your Real Geeks account, you might see something that you might want to work, and that might give you some more opportunities coming into this year. So I'm going to switch gears now that I've talked about Real Geeks a little bit. In the last 10 minutes, I'm going to show you a kind of a look of Chime, in case you're wondering what Chime would do. So just like Cheryl, I built a special site for Candace. Actually, I didn't. I'm use I loosely here. Good old Shannon Hall that helped her build out and create her website. But you can see Candace Frazier has Choice Homes for Sale comes up. Still very, very high. Notice because the SEO we built was very, very high, but she also has CandaceFrazier.com, which is now routed to her Chime because she has access to much more bells and whistles as her database has grown. So I'm going to go right to CandaceFrazier.com. And as you can see, notice the header looks the same as Cheryl's. So it looks and feels very much like Real Geeks. But the difference is Candace is able to control her top bars. So she could do, maybe she wants to blog. Maybe she has a New Year's resolution to do more social media marketing. Maybe she wants to really co-brand with her lender. She can do any of that. This is a very base Chime account that we created, I'm sure because she's limited to time, but you could register, you could sign in. This is her own website. So she could pay for somebody to actually make something different, but you notice all of this new to the site. If I click on it, it will most likely come up with create your free account, and I'd have to put in my email address or continue with Facebook or Gmail. She also gets credit for that sale. And then there is a CRM that backs Chime that I would say is more robust than Real Geeks. So she has control a lot more, and she's got more bells and whistles. So I'm going to show you an example of kind of like what would happen if the lead was created in Sage Candace's account, this is kind of what would come in. So they are very active. And what happens is they'll start their search by looking at the pretty properties that are on Candace's website, or that she's, sent advertising and she's kind of built her own campaigns out. And you can see, we have interface, we can see what they're looking for. So this is, I'm having a look over your shoulder feature. I can see this house on L Street is this lead. I could request a tour. Notice this is also customized to Candace. It would be if this was Candace's lead in her system. She can schedule a virtual tour. She could schedule an in-person tour. Sees all the pictures, all of the information, just like if she was on, say, a Redfin website or a Zillow website. The difference is it's connected to Candace, or it's, in this case, it's connected to me. I don't have the market trends, but it does have some more bells and whistles. If I wanted to connect this, it would cost me a little bit more on the monthly spend than 105. But that is something you could opt into, and maybe you want to do that only for the month, or maybe you want to do it for January only. You're not locked into a long-term contract with Chime. It's just a monthly thing that you pay the company for. So we've negotiated a great rate. If you look at what Isabel is doing, you'll notice that we have also on the type of thing, we have some suggested smart plans. So based on her activity, I could put her on, say, a smart plan B, where the lead returns to the site after a long period of time. And just by setting this, it's going to already have the workflow created for me that we have proven that works. So it's got a lot, like I said, it's got a bit more bells and whistles, less clicking, I would say, than Real Geeks. And all I have to do is click add, and this would put hi, their first name, and it would start them on a flow. With day 0, it would send them home buying assistance. It would remind me to make a phone call. If yes, or if they answered no, it would do something else. So it's got a very, very structured process for working these particular leads. So all I do is click add, and now she's going to get that email about saving properties in her basket and things like that. Now, what's interesting about Chime, and this is that everybody's talking about, is AI this year. Chime does have an AI assistant that we've named Michaela. And Michaela actually is working behind the scenes. When I'm busy working on other things today, Michaela has been working behind the scenes to communicate with the lead as the lead interfaces with Candace's website. Now, Candace happens to have the same Michaela as I have. So I don't know if she's had these types of results, but I certainly have. If I go to the details of Chime, I gotta think about, I gotta go to my my lead. I'm so sorry, you guys. I know I'm flipping around a little bit, but I can go to my hot leads, or I can turn her into hot, and I can go in and I can find things that are doing activity right here. So Alyssa has done some activities with the AI, with the assistant. So the assistant's actually going in, if they're new to my website, and they're actually, I've set my AI, so it's actually doing some things behind the scenes. The lead was qualified by my computer friend, Michaela. Michaela had sent her a message saying how much is the home the lead wants to buy, and the leads answered the question. So they are actually, the AI is actually pre-qualifying that lead for me on my behalf. And Alyssa was one of the leads that I gave to Deanne. She actually was looking to be pre-qualified. She's not pre-qualified now. She wants to buy within the next year and looking like August. So it's something that Deanne, my lender partner, would be able to go in and try to connect with Alyssa, the real live human being, and engage with Alyssa on her pre-approval. So this is something I didn't even convert. The actual AI converted this through my Chime account behind the scenes of somebody that interacted with my website, RochelleWilhite.com, and then interfaced with my Chime CRM. So that's kind of how that worked. I also had another lead on Saturday that interfaced. I tested something out, which I'll show you right now, because this is another advantage of using Chime. One of our agents is out of town. And I want to just test the product. So I basically had all of our listings, Best Choice Realty listings, are available in Chime so that we could build advertising around Best Choice Realty's listing. Now, the agent doesn't mind. She wants, obviously, to sell this property. But I could send this quick listing off to my client or a group of clients very easily by clicking this little button right here. I could build a CMA report if they have their own kind of CMA built into the Chime account. I could provide a text code, a QR code. I can do all of that type of stuff. I could build an ad really quickly by just clicking this button right here. So this is where you can kind of pick and choose how you want to do it per listing. You're not locked into a long contract, but I tested this out on just a basic promotion and use that one as my example. Select a listing. I could type in that instance, I used Chehalis, but for 99 bucks, I promoted it on social and also with Google. The charge was $99. So it's just a one-hit type of listing that I promoted, built the ad right here on my Chime platform. And then basically I was procuring leads, and those leads were getting contacted by Michaela, the AI. The lead actually contacted Michaela. Michaela sent me a text message saying, hey, I've got a hot one. And then I contacted the lead directly, got a hold of the lead. She's like, yes, I'd like to go see that listing. I went out, I had to finish it out, you guys. So I went out and showed Whitney Boulevard yesterday. And I also selected, the AI does not know the industry, right? They can select different properties, but I also went into, based on what the AI was telling me, looking for 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. I confirmed that with the particular lead. Are you looking still for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath? She's like, actually, Rochelle, I'm paying cash for the place. I'm looking for an investment. I want to put my money into Lewis County. She gave me the scenario as a real life human being. So AI is not going to do the detailed work, ask the personal questions that you may ask on the phone. But what I found out was that she was interested in seeing this property. I asked enough questions to find also some other properties that I could show her. So as a buyer's agent and you're using AI and you're using Chime, even if you're using Real Geeks, this philosophy still works. You never want to show the client only one property. You also want to provide them other market knowledge going, you know what, if we're trying to keep it under 500, let me look and see what other areas, say like in Centralia. Centralia is certainly close to Chehalis, but also in Lewis County. And there happened to be a property that just hit the market. And there was another off-market property that I was able to uncover with some of the people I interface with down in that area. And so we were able to, in a period of just, an hour of texting back and forth. Now, I certainly turned Michaela off. I muted Michaela once we got in touch on a personal level. But I was able to find 3 other properties that I showed this client. Built a fantastic relationship with the client, and certainly we're going to follow up and look at some other options because one of them had asbestos, one of them had, some other issues or concerns that she has questions about. So I didn't write the deal up, but I certainly built a relationship with that client. And it came from the AI, from an ad I placed that cost me $100. And certainly there's probably more leads that if I was to spend the time and work, I would be able to market my own website and definitely use Chime as the way to get that process done. Now, could I do something similar if I wanted to promote, say, CherylMcLaren.com on, say, my own Facebook, and I have my own Facebook account? Absolutely. It just takes more time to create the ad, manage your Facebook promotion, go through that process where Chime takes a lot of that off your plate and makes it easy for you to do some of those social media elements or promote your website or promote a certain listing just by paying the money. And then, you have your monthly fee, and then you also have your, any add-ons that you add on to it. So, but the basic, would look just like this. And if you want to not do ad promotion, you don't have to. If I was just to send this Lost Valley Road to, say, some of my hot clients, I could easily do that. And it would just send them a nice little email. It has my list of 8 of my clients right here. So I could send this right here, and all I'd have to do is click the button and it would send it off to them as like, hey, this is the listing I wanted you to take a look at today. So again, it's very, very powerful and it's very, very fast. It almost took me by surprise on how fast it is. But it certainly is, it rivals other pieces of technology like KV Core. So I know there's endorsements I've done on Facebook. You guys have probably seen it. Some of our agents have received and done demos with Real Geeks. You certainly can buy your own website, Real Geeks, but here's kind of the packages that Real Geeks will charge you. $2.99 a month, but no advertising. You don't need this package because you already have the package. You just may need to spend some time in learning how to build Facebook advertising and promote your page that we've created, your website, if you're using our free option. So don't be going and buying your own $300 a month package when we can get you $105 a month with Chime, and then have you add on the add-ons as you need them. You don't need to be able to spend money on ad spends when you can basically do it with Chime on your own. It's literally a couple button clicks. So it's pretty easy to use and easy to build your own website too, if you chose to go that route. So I know I'm at the 6 o'clock hour. I know I wanted to just give you enough to kind of be dangerous. I welcome the calls. I welcome the emails. I know there's a lot of talk out there as far as CRMs, technology packages, marketing packages that make sense. Definitely AI is being talked about. But I wanted to give you enough to know that you don't need to go buy a package with Real Geeks. We have a very good package already. You just need to figure out with an assistant how to build your own workflows and build your own plans. But if you're looking at spending $2.99 a month with no advertising, we may want to look at Chime and just figure out what you will use and how to build your campaigns through their system. But it's very, very well done. And we've had other top producers use it at Best Choice Realty and had a great success with it. So with that, I don't have time. I'm going to open it up for Shannon to answer some questions. I've got to run to another interview. But if you guys want to talk offline, just send me a quick message by email or by text. Some of you are on Chime and may just need to learn certain aspects of Chime. If you want to send me an email with, hey, I need to know about this or that, I will form some small groups and get some training for you guys on the various aspects that you need help with. And also welcome anybody that needs to talk about database migration, and maybe it's time for you to kind of go away from Real Geeks and go to a different package. We certainly want to get you at the best rate possible. So I welcome those conversations. If you have questions, send me an email if you could with your needs. And if you have questions, go ahead and stay on the call and Shannon will answer your questions for the next few minutes. Have a great week, you guys. And Shannon, you want to unmute your line?
Yep, I'm here. I know I wanted to at least have a goodie for you guys too. I've got a lot of questions from people asking for what are the top text conversions that you can use even with your sphere of influence. So if you're wanting a copy of those, I've got several that you can use with people that you are already interacting with in person or at events, people who already know you. So if you're needing some inspiration as we kind of go into the busy season, let me know. I can happily send that over to you guys so you stay productive. So it's looking really good. We like how the market's doing right now. I will stay on for the next minute or two. If you guys have questions, I am happy to answer anything you've got. I've worked with Chime and Real Geeks, setting things up, backends, websites, whatever you got, try and stump me.